Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of Shooting the Shit with Jim. I am the host of my show, of course, Jim. With me this week, I can't say enough about this guy. I'm sorry, Ricky. I'm going to embarrass you for a couple of minutes.
Go for it.
Before I actually get into Ricky's here, I got to give you a little bit of background about me. I never turned on YouTube at all until 5 years ago. Neil Peart died. It killed me. It was during the pandemic, lockdown. So I went on, started looking at tribute videos. One of the first ones I saw was from this guy called Ricky from the Golden Age of Hard Rock. I immediately subscribed, and that was 5 years ago, before I even came close to thinking about doing a channel. This guy is awesome. So without further ado, I want to introduce my very good friend, although this is really the first time we've had a real conversation, Ricky Myers, aka the Golden Age of Hard Rock. Ricky, how are you, my friend?
I am doing great, and I've been looking forward to this since you reached out to me originally about this idea months ago.
Yeah.
I did not know what you were about to say there, though. That was everybody that, I know your audience, a lot of people have channels, and that video that you referenced, rock stars that died in 2020, that was when I was around 700 subscribers, and I put that out. I think I put it out on New Year's Eve, and just, didn't pay much attention to it. And then I came down one morning and I'm just like, what in the hell is going on? You see, I'm like, holy cow, like 15,000 people have watched this. And it was that video, the one that you're speaking of, is the one that pushed me over the 1,000 subscribers and made the channel monetized, basically. So yeah. Glad to know that you were there from the very beginning, dude.
Yeah, like I said, you were the first channel I ever subscribed to. So, and I've been loyal ever since, because you put out fantastic content. So I also want to mention, before we get into specifics here, that my good friend Ricky here is also a former U.S. Marine. So anytime that I encounter anybody who has ever served, I have to go out of my way to say, thank you, sir, for your service. Sorry for my shitty salute. But Semper Fi, do or die. Once a Marine, always a Marine. So thank you for your service.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of our armed services. Not so much our government, but our services.
I thought you were going to say something else that you just learned about, I think, yesterday.
Yeah. We're going to bring that up in a couple of minutes. but anyways, before we get into that, I want to give you a chance. How did you start your channel? What got you interested in going into YouTube in the first place? Tell me everything.
Yeah, the quick down and dirty on that was, not to jump your announcement of whatever you're going to say about the job that I had and I retired from.
No, not at all. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had started watching YouTube just at work. And from there, I retired, and now I had like all day long to myself. So I decided, I think I'll work out twice a day. So I go down to my basement. That's where my personal gym's at. And it's treadmill, weights, stuff like that. So I'm like, let's put something on YouTube. And I started out just like watching old Scorpions concerts, things like that. And after a while, it's like I started seeing not professional content, but just people making content. And of course, like I got all day long with nothing to do. I'm like, hell, I think I could do something like that. I can talk about something that I'm obsessed with, hard rock music. But actually, I didn't start out with hard rock music. I started out with financial information.
Okay.
And then I started to it got a little awkward as people would be telling me, I did this. Thank you for telling me about this. I did this. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't even know who you are. I don't know if this is the right thing that you should be doing. Basically, you probably should put your money in S&P 500 in some retirement plan. You shouldn't be doing what I was promoting at the time, which was like a dividend investment type, build your own pension kind of thing. So I'm like, I don't really feel, I don't know. I don't know who these people are. I don't want them to do something that actually harms them financially. So I'm like, I'm going to change that. What else do I care a lot about besides money? Hard rock music. And that's how the channel became the golden age of hard rock.
Yeah.
From originally being called the Dividend Project.
That was golden age of hard rock kind of rolls off the tongue a little better.
Yeah.
The Dividend Project these days sounds like an AI thing, you know, like they're coming to get you. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm paranoid that way. No, I love your channel. Okay, obviously. I've been following you for a long time. We've been talking back and forth in comments forever. Okay. And I mentioned earlier that the what drew me to your channel originally was Neil passing away, who again can't stress it enough how much he meant to me, even though I never met the guy. Okay. And to a lesser degree, Eddie as well, when he passed, because again, these guys were gods.
And that was the same year. Both guys were in the same year. Yeah. And I know I learned from you just recently, that was your first concert and your second concert.
Yep.
And both of those guys, reportedly the best drummer of all time and the best guitar player of all time. You could argue it, I guess, but they're definitely, both of them are right there.
They're in the conversation.
And they both died in the same year.
Yeah, that was a shit year. 2020 was a horrible fucking year. Okay. But, and there's been other icons, of course. Okay. I mean, every time somebody dies in the rock and field, I know right away, the first one I go to is you. You always put something up really, really good. But the last one that hit me as hard is the most recent, Ozzy.
Yeah.
Which really surprised me. And me and my two buddies, Sean and Kenny, we did a special Ozzy show last week, as a matter of fact. And just like this show, okay, we're, for the most part, we're movie guys, okay? But we're all Gen X guys, the three of us, okay? And Kenny wasn't really so much an Ozzy guy, but Sean certainly was. He's a metal guy like I am, like you are, okay? And I just want to know what your thoughts were, because even though it was obvious that he was sick and it was obvious that he was, you know, on his way out, even though I knew it was coming, it was still kind of a shock, because he was one of those guys. I mentioned it on my show the other night with those guys. For years, I made the joke that if there was ever a nuclear apocalypse, the only things that would survive would be cockroaches, Ozzy Osbourne, and Keith Richards.
Keith Richards, right.
Okay. And that was always the joke, but I always kind of believed that. So I got to admit, even though I knew the end was coming, I kind of thought Ozzy was going to be here forever. And even though I wasn't a huge fan like I was for Neil or Eddie for that matter, I think it hit me just about as hard. And I was just wondering how you felt about it, or if there was any other artists like that you connected with that really, it was a gut punch for you.
Yeah, there's been quite a few, but just to stick with Ozzy for a moment. So that back to the beginning thing, I love Free 99. I'm all about Freegal.
Yeah.
So I did not pay for that pay-per-view, because one thing I've learned about YouTube, just put it in the search browser and you will find whatever it is you're looking for. Anytime it's billed as one night only pay-per-view, it'll be on YouTube. Somebody will have it. It might get taken down in the middle of it, and just search again and find it and pick right back up. So I did watch all of Ozzy's performances and most of all the lower on the card performances also. And yeah, you see him there in the chair. He looks like he's in pain.
Yeah.
He can't stand up. And I'm just like, my thoughts at the end of that were, wow, I'm glad I watched this. I don't know. At that time, I was thinking it would have been cool to see it in person. But before that, I was like, no, I don't want to see these guys like Phil Collins who can't get up, or Peter Frampton sitting down. Now Hart and Wilson sits down. I don't want to see that. I saw most of those people, and I'll just leave the memory at that. But watching that, I was like, well, that truly is the end. It's not going to be like Kiss, farewell, 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 farewell. This really is most likely the last time you're going to see him. Not thinking that he was going to pass away, but just thinking, yeah, he's in no shape to do much more than what he did right there sitting in the chair. So shocked when the news comes out. What was it, like a week, 2 weeks later?
2 weeks later, yeah.
Passed away. I'm like, wow. I knew he looked like he was in pain and everything, but he's looked like that for quite a while now. You know, whoever these people are that go out and take pictures of celebrities, you know, they get all these shots of him hunched over, people helping him walk and everything. So I've seen that for a while. So it kind of jived with what you saw during back at the beginning performance. Yeah, I was pretty much blown away that he passed away that quickly after that. But then I think that just makes that performance all the more special.
Yeah.
Especially that Mama, I'm Coming Home. When you watch that again now that he has passed away, it's like, wow.
Yeah, when he died, the first thing I did was I made a little short to that song. I mean, I had to, you know. But rest in peace, Ozzy.
Yes.
But were there any other icons like that you know?
Well, I mean, Eddie has probably been the one that really made, because he was 66 too, so much younger than a lot of these guys that make it into their 70s. Some of them that make it into their 80s. You know, they're most of them are legends. Some are not as well known, but Eddie was like from, you know, my teenage years of Eddie Van Halen passes away at 66. Now, what am I now? I'm 61. So I'm like, shit. There's a certain part of this when you see these guys and also movie stars and actresses, sports figures, when you see the people starting to pass away that you were a fan of when you were probably about anywhere from 10 to 20 years younger than them, when you were fans of them, 20 years younger than them. That old that old Dio song, Last in Line, right? Everybody's in a line marching in time as people fall off. Eventually you look around and you're like, shit, it's my turn. I'm at the end of the line now, right? So there's some of that mortality that I think comes out anytime these people you idolized as a kid pass away.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Yeah, they're dropping like flies too, and that's what gets me. I mean,
Hulk Hogan, that's another one that just recently, right? Hulk Hogan, everybody knows who he is. I'm not saying he's a great guy or anything like that, but if you grew up in the 80s, you definitely knew who Hulk Hogan was.
He's an icon. I'm not a wrestling fan. I've never been a wrestling fan. But again, I will acknowledge that the man was huge in culture for most of my lifetime. Certainly when I was a kid. You know, I mean, shit. Just for the appearance in the Rocky movie alone as Thunder Lips, you know? I mean, that was pretty big, you know? I mean, it really was.
Crossover into films.
Yeah.
I ran into him. My wife and I, we were newlyweds. So this would be back in the 90s. We were down at Disney World in Florida. I don't know, just staying at one of those resorts. And we went into this one sushi place. And I'll be damned, there's Hulk Hogan and a very large African-American man. I don't know who he was, but I'm sure he was an actor of some kind, because they were filming some kind of television series at the time. Now, I'm not a big fan of his, so I don't really know his life story or anything. But they were eating so much freaking sushi. You just know how big he is, right? Back in the 90s. I think now he's kind of shrunk down toward the end, but
he's really shrunk down now. Oops, sorry, too soon.
And he probably had $200 back in the 90s, $200 worth of sushi in front of him.
Yeah.
Just eating it all.
I don't like cooked fish. I certainly don't like raw fish. So. I always used to say, if it swims but it don't walk or fly, fuck it, I won't eat it. Okay. Real quickly before we go any further, I do want to acknowledge some people in the crowd here real quickly. Oh, Stacy, as always. Hello, Stacy. How are you today? Hello and thank you. What is your favorite blank from hell thriller? So I'm assuming like Woman from Hell or Stacy is notorious for leaving these incredibly vague scenarios. She asked me and another guy on another stream if we thought that a sequel to Speed could be made with an escalator.
Trapped on an escalator. If you try to get off, the entire mall blows up.
Exactly. I mean, you know, so we'll get back to that, Stacy. I want to say hello to other people, but thank you so much for being here. Words and Pictures. Evening, Jim, and great to meet the latest victim, Rick. Hey, don't scare my guests like that. Nah, we're all fun here. Texas, my great friend Texas is here. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Appreciate your support as always. Okay, now this one's good. Stacy, what is your favorite performances in movies about musicians? Do you have a favorite, not necessarily, you know, a musician, but a movie about musicians? Do you have a favorite performance? I know what mine is.
I think it'd be hard to beat Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison in The Doors.
Amen.
I thought that was a great depiction.
Amen. Yeah. Doc Holliday to me is his best performance, but Jim Morrison is right there with it. I mean,
I got something here. Now, I know this is not your favorite performance. Whoops, where I thought I had it here.
Uh-oh. Better not be Dirty Dancing.
I am a child of the 80s. My favorite Val Kilmer performance.
Oh, okay. I don't have a problem with Top Gun.
I heard you say that you liked Maverick better than this.
I did. Because I think
Heresy.
Top Gun.
Heresy.
No, I saw Top Gun. Shit, Ricky. At least I paid to see that fucker a dozen times, and then saw it at my own theater another 100 times, and had it on VHS. Okay, now I got it on Blu-ray. Now it just hasn't aged well. I mean, the flying sequences
It has
and stuff,
aged perfectly.
there is more homoeroticism in that volleyball scene than most gay porn. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to offend anybody. You know, I'm inclusive. That scene alone, man, they're greased up. You'd think Joel Schumacher directed that shit.
Come on, Val Kilmer flexing during the volleyball scene.
We'll get back to that, but no, Val Kilmer.
Cruise looking at the watch.
Yeah, I love Val Kilmer, and yeah, I'd like Top Gun. Again, it's just that's one of those movies that I would say it's not so much that I don't like it. It's just I got sick of it because I've seen it so many times. Ghostbusters is a movie like that. You know, everybody loves Ghostbusters. I do too. I never want to watch it again.
I'll agree on those, but this one I will watch again. Let me tell you this. So this is just a special movie for myself and my wife. 1986, we even called the day Top Gun Day. It just happened to be the day I met her, and I had enough game to take her out on a date that night. What did we see?
Top Gun.
First kiss. Skip like 4 years later, we get married. What's our wedding song? Take My Breath Away.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to do You've Lost That Love and Feeling. I was going to ask you, just start singing?
So this one's kind of like has other connections.
That's fair. Okay. I mean, I get it. My ex-wife, who I was with at the same time that movie came out, our first date was also a movie. What the hell was it? Something Wild with Melanie Griffith.
Oh, I know that one, yeah.
And Ray Liotta. And that was the first time I ever saw Ray Liotta, and I was like, holy shit, who is this guy? You know, but
that has a great soundtrack too.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I mean, I like the movie more than my ex-wife, so we're not. I mean, that's the one who was obsessed with Dirty Dancing and all things Swayze. We went and saw Roadhouse on our honeymoon because she insisted, and I love Roadhouse, you know. But yeah, me and her divorced 5 years later, so whatever. Beside the point. Okay.
You should have saw Top Gun. You might still be together.
God, no. I got a good one now. So, all right. Now, generally, see, you got me all sidetracked with that Top Gun shit. I got to say hello to people. I'm saying hello to people.
I'm sure somebody had some Top Gun comments. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Once I get to them. Ollie, hey, my good friend Ollie from the UK. Hey, Jim, just popping in quickly to see how both of you gents are doing. Going to give another round to watch now before going to exotic Spain tomorrow. Yeah, awesome, dude. He's going to Spain, and I told him in Europe they take that shit for granted. Him going to Spain is like me going to fucking Nebraska. You know, I would much rather go to Spain than Nebraska, if you know what I mean. Nothing against anybody in the audience is a Cornhusker. Hey, I'm sorry.
Hey, maybe Ollie will catch another showing of Bat Out of Hell. While
I'm sure he would. He loved that show. Texas, have a great time in Spain. Okay, people saying hello back and forth. Oh, here we go. My good friend Sean is here from Cinephile World Order. Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, Jim. Hello, chat. Hope everyone is enjoying the weekend so far. Thank you so much, Sean, for your support as always. And Melina is here. Patrick Swayze. Melina is great, but she always leaves these little rare trivia questions comments. Patrick Swayze did training in ballet school after he dropped out of San Jacinto Community. Everybody dropped out of San Jacinto Community College, according to Molina, for some reason. Just remember, drugs are bad. Well, it depends on what the drug is there in Texas, but we'll get to that in a minute because we alluded to it in a couple of minutes ago. My good friend Ricky here, I knew for years that he was a Marine. You know, like I said earlier, once a Marine, always Marine. I did not know up until a couple of days ago that he is also a retired police officer. And again, respect the blue, love the blue. Thank you again for your service. Okay. But
thank you.
Originally,
but if you don't
I was
like
going to ask
police, you don't hurt my feelings. So
not
if you
at
don't
all.
like
But we had a small conversation the other day, and I told you I was going to ask you about military movies, okay? About, you know, this and that and the other. And you said, well, you know what? There's something about cop movies. And I cut you off right away. And I was like, no. Wait until the show. Because, again, this is a good perspective. So I'm assuming you were going to say that there's something about like some sort of cliche or whatever in police movies that drives you crazy. Right. And as a retired police officer, obviously you have experience in these matters. So the floor is yours, sir. Tell me what you were going to tell me.
You just have to imagine how fun it is for my wife to watch any kind of cop movie with me.
Oh, I can imagine.
Usually she will say something like, "It's not a documentary, it's a movie. Will you shut up?" So I realize movies are made to be entertaining. They're not made to be true to life. If it was, every cop movie would be 2 hours of sitting around writing reports, waiting for the next thing to go do, right? It wouldn't be action-packed for 1.5 hours. But the one thing that just drives me up a wall every time is when the cop, when the detective, when the bad guy is about to go in a room, they pull out their automatic and they go,
yeah.
Oh, it wasn't loaded until right now. You've been walking around with an unloaded pistol or even a shotgun. Shoot. Oh, it was unloaded too. You guys are the cops. Why are you walking around with unloaded weapons? Just a little thing. But of course, that one little frame is exciting to the movie goer, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, the Foley artist needs a job too. That's the guy who does all the sound effects. But no, I get it. My wife hates watching anything, whether it's a music video or a movie with a drummer. Unless it's a real drummer, I'll bitch about it. Because usually the fucking guy is so off, he has no rhythm whatsoever. So he's not hitting anything that you're actually hearing. But what really cracks me up is when it's so badly timed, you're hearing the bass drum with the snare and the snare with the bass. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? You know, I mean, at least fake that shit, you know?
Hey, help me out here. What is that guy that he's always hanging out with the musicians? What's that called?
Oh, the drummer.
The drummer.
Oh, trust me. I've been catching shit all those years, all my life about it. But it's like, you know what? I always come back and say, you know what? Drummer's got rhythm. Because women love men that can dance and men with rhythm.
Hey, some of them do. Yeah. How about the Poison videos from the 80s with that guy, Ricky Rocket? He never looked like he was playing the right damn thing. Like some crazy moves. I was like, I don't even know if that's matching the music.
I assume looks like a lady. Don't get me started on Poison. I can
come on, talk dirty to me.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the different eras to see, because again, you're only a couple of years older than me. You're the same age as my brother John. Actually, he's 3 years older than I am. I'm gonna be 58 next week. Speaking of
youngin,
I mentioned not this. Sorry, this is a different announcement, Ricky. I was just thinking about it. On the last episode, I told everybody that I was considering doing a special birthday stream next week. I just wanted to let everybody know that I am not going to do that. Unfortunately, my best friend from the last 25 years, his mother passed away. And the funeral is going to be, as usual, my birthdays suck, man. But as usual, it's going to be that weekend. So I'm not going to be able to do a stream. But I am going to be back 2 weeks on this show. And I will be on Tuesday's show with Sean and Kenny. And we'll get into that later on. But before anybody asks in the comments, and for people who voted in the poll, I appreciate it. But I am not going to be able to do that stream. So, okay, let's get back to the show. Real quickly before I get out of here, because you mentioned to Ollie about the Bat Out of Hell thing. Got Bat Out of Hell the week after I got back, seeing it twice. Ricky, you have to watch it if you get the chance. I know you said you nearly did, but it is so good.
Yeah, it's on my list. We went to London 2 or 3 years ago, and I wanted to see it so badly, but we couldn't find it. It just wasn't playing the week that we were there. I'm like, damn it. I'm still waiting for it to come to New York. We'll make a day trip up there to go catch it.
Nice. And then Sean, of course, after finding out, hide your weed, y'all. We got a cop here. But no, me and Ricky made the joke about that because when I found out he had a cop, or how I found out that he was a cop was I said, have a beer during the show, enjoy yourself.
Wisconsin Highway Patrol, we got.
Yeah. And I said, you can have your beer while I hit my vape. And I said, thank God for vapes because it's not as bad as this. And that's when he started laughing and said, by the way, did you know I'm a retired cop? And I went, it's legal. Well,
not that I care about
5 minutes away.
I had to go with coffee today because I just had too many drinks last night. We had friends over, and I'm like, I don't feel like drinking some beers right now, honestly. But maybe, hey, it's 2 hours. Maybe that'll change.
There you go. Yeah, you got to give me another one of those micro brews a shout out because you do, man. You between your Hard Rock ads and your.
Did you see the one on the Queen video that
yeah.
Friday video?
Yeah,
I'll show your audience because
that was cool. I meant to tell you that in the comments.
This is an empty can, but down by the seashore, and it's got the physical graffiti artwork on it.
Yeah, that was a cool can. That's my favorite Zeppelin album. When I saw that can, I was like, oh, man, that's awesome. So, yeah, that's cool. Speaking of, okay, this is a movie channel for the most part. So we are going to talk a little bit about movies, but then we're going to dive right into the music, okay? But I do have a couple of movie questions for you, okay? Because I know you do like movies as well. Do you remember what your earliest movie was that you ever saw at a theater when you were a kid?
Yes, I do. I can even remember the theater called the DeSoto Square Mall Theater in Bradenton, Florida, where I grew up at. And I don't know, you're a horror movie guy, so you might have heard of this one. Empire of the Ants.
Oh, yeah, H.G. Wells. That one and Food of the Gods always played like on a double feature with each other, later. That was like in 70, let's see, Empire of the Ants, 77?
77 or 78, somewhere in there. And man, I was hooked. That was the first time I took my own money with a friend and we went to the movies. I'm trying to think. I think because it was a matinee during the daytime. I think it was like $1 or $1.50.
Yeah.
Anyway, I loved it at the time. And like shortly after that, Chips, the California Highway Patrol television show.
Eric Estrada.
It came on, it debuted on television, and right away I'm like, that's the guy from Empire of the Ants, Sergeant Cotrair.
Yeah.
The sergeant.
Yeah, that's
his last name now. His son's an actor.
Yeah, Chris Pine's dad.
Chris Pine's dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my first movie. From there, I just kept going. There was a whole bunch from there on out, of course.
Yeah.
You had to get that first R-rated movie. That's what you had to sneak in.
My first R-rated movie was Animal House. And I was way too young. I was like 11.
That might be mine.
Yeah. And let's just say that movie warped my fragile little brain. It probably explains a lot.
That's a great movie.
It's an awesome movie. Okay. We're going to play a game that I always play.
All right.
It's called Top 3. Okay.
Hmm.
And I'm going to ask you a different genre of movie.
Okay.
And you're going to tell me what your top 3 of that genre is. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the best. It's just whatever pops into your head. Okay. So there's no pressure here. Okay. So, top 3 action films. Go.
Well, I guess the original Die Hard was a great one. Would you call Terminator an action film?
Sure.
The original Terminator, and let's go with First Blood, Sylvester Stallone. That's an action survival. I don't know.
I always consider that a drama with action in it, but it's still an action movie. A lot of people consider it an
All
action
right, then
movie.
we'll pull that one out for something else, and we'll go with Lethal Weapon. The first
There you go. Crazy Gary Busey. Sorry, I always get triggered. Anyways, top 3 comedies.
Definitely going to go with Animal House.
Good man.
Meet the Parents. Something About Mary.
Nice. This one might be a little more difficult.
Okay.
Top 3 war films.
Whew, okay. Well, I'm a Marine, so let's go with that. Full Metal Jacket. I don't know if this would be, can a series count? Or it's got to be a movie? Because I'd go with The Pacific by
I'll accept that because that's a limited series.
the
So
Band of Brothers.
yeah. I'll accept
Companion.
that.
War movies. Oh, hell. Let's go with Platoon.
Okay. Awesome.
Let's give the Army one.
How about top 3 westerns?
Whoosh. Unforgiven. Tombstone. That's probably one of those. Oh no, let's go with True Grit, the remake.
Oh, okay, the remake. Okay, this is where we're going to segue though. Top 3 soundtracks, and I don't mean scores. I mean soundtrack albums.
I know the difference between the two.
Yes, I know you do.
All right, because it means so much. Top Gun soundtrack.
Actually, the Top Gun soundtrack's great. I had that tape. Cassette tape.
Let's go with Heavy Metal soundtrack.
Good man. Good
God,
man.
I've got so many. I'm going to give you 2 more. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I do like that one.
Yep.
And at a certain time in life, it was just what I was into. Pretty in Pink soundtrack.
Yeah.
But I could give you 10 more.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm like, part of my brain is screaming, Lost Boys, Lost Boys.
Yep.
No, very good. Okay. This is going to be interesting. We're going to do another thing called another top 3, but this is going to be music related. And this one might make you think. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you top 3, and it's going to be, as you put it, the first category is going to be those guys that hang out with musicians. So, top
Drummers.
3 drummers,
Okay.
live or dead, doesn't matter. All
Okay.
time.
Oh,
And again,
it gets harder when you say dead.
This is just in your opinion. So, top 3 drummers.
I'm not saying they're the best. I'm saying I enjoyed
Yes,
seeing them.
your favorite. I didn't say best. Your favorite.
Because obviously, if we're going to go best, we're going to have to give names like Bonham, Neil, Moon, those guys, which I never saw any of those. So the ones I saw that I liked, Alex Van Halen. Trying to think of crazy drum solos that I've seen. Oh, Peter Criss, classic Kiss.
Yeah, I know you're a Kiss
In the
guy.
70s.
Yep.
And here's my one that I'm sure somebody will say, Mr. Bunny Carlos. Cheap
Oh, yeah.
Trick.
I love Bun. Yeah, that's one thing me and you definitely have in common is our love for Cheap Trick. We've talked about that before because they're from my neck of the woods, you know.
Now, I know your list would be totally different than what I just said.
Yeah, my top 3 drummers, I mean, these categories would always change back and forth for me, except for the top 3 drummers. And for the most part, those have been the same for a long time. And it's always, Neil's always at the top. Bonham's always at the second. The third drummer has changed through the years, but right now I'd go with Danny Carey. I love Danny Carey from Tool. So, okay, top 3 bassists.
I'm going to go with, again, entertaining. That entertained me the most. Well, the God of Thunder. Can you get more entertaining than fire-breathing, blood-spitting, singing about 16-year-old girls? I mean, come on. Okay. So Gene Simmons, Pete Way of UFO. That guy was all over the damn stage. And he also set the blueprint for so many drummers after him.
Yep.
He's probably the first guy ever to wear spandex for a drummer. Entertaining, seen him several times, many times. Steve Harris, Iron Maiden.
Yeah, Steve Harris is a beast.
But hey, the Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath, and when he was young, he was quite entertaining.
Yep. Yeah, I couldn't argue with any of those.
You're going to set the fire alarm off, my man.
No, I'm out in the garage, and this ain't smoke. Geddy Lee would definitely be on my list.
On your list.
And John Paul Jones would probably be on my list.
Yeah.
But I would probably include Steve Harris as well. Because Steve Harris, like I said, he's an animal on bass. Top 3 keyboard players.
Keyboard players in rock and roll? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because I got 2 words for you. John Lord.
You know what? John Lord, I don't know. Obviously John Lord, but who, I don't even know, who played keyboards on Whitesnake's 87 album? Because I do like those keyboards on Here I Go Again.
I have no idea.
It wasn't Tawny Katane, that's for sure. It was somebody.
Yeah. All right, we'll skip the keyboard players, but we have to give John Lord some love because that guy was, again, a beast.
John Lord, Don
Emerson,
Carey, who did some stuff on Black Sabbath albums and on Ozzy Osbourne's solo stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, I like the sounds. I think it's best when the keyboards are just accentuating certain things and it's not predominant on every song.
Yeah,
even whoever can't think of his name right now. David something from Bon Jovi. He's got some interesting keyboard tracks that he's laid down.
I always go back to like Keith Emerson and shit like that, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and stuff. And Edgar Winter. Edgar Winter was a great keyboard player, But that guy, he was a great player of every instrument,
Well, my favorite keyboard player would have to be Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, don't say Jump. I hate that fucking song.
You can say Geddy Lee.
Yeah, well, hey, there you go, Geddy, Okay, here we go, though. Because we're getting down to it now. Top 3, not singers, frontmen.
In my book, the ultimate frontman of rock and roll, the hottest show to go to, it was the biggest party when it came to your town, was Van Halen, and it would be David Lee Roth in his prime.
Yep.
Also, throw in there Freddie Mercury.
Yep.
And then, not my favorite band or anything, but I'll give this guy his props. When Van Halen broke up, David Lee Roth left, the person in the band that came in to fill that void of sex symbol / frontman, John Bon Jovi.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for my frontman, I would go with David Lee Roth, exactly. I mean, I saw... That was my second concert. That was the last tour, 84. And he wasn't singing that much. He was doing mainly his whole, and shit. But it didn't matter because he just had so much charisma. He just had that crowd in the palm of his hand the entire night. I mean, it really was something to see.
It was a party.
And the other one that I saw, and again, we're talking, just frontman and voice. And this guy's, Robert Plant. I saw him twice. And again, this wasn't with Zeppelin. This was when he was just doing his solo shit. It didn't matter. He still had that charisma, you know.
Hey, if your pants are tight enough, you can just stand there with the microphone, right?
The Lemon song. Yeah, okay.
If you're that tight, you don't have to move around a lot.
Right. And number 3, I'd have to go with not so much now, definitely, but back in the day for sure. Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. I saw Aerosmith many times. The first time I saw him was on the Done with Mirrors tour, and they were still smacked out and they were horrible. And then I saw him on Permanent Vacation all the way through 9 Lives. And I gotta say, every time I saw him, I don't like a lot of those albums, but every concert was phenomenal. And he was always dead on, you know, same type of thing as David Lee Roth. If his voice wasn't there, he still had that showmanship in him to keep the crowd entertained, you know?
I'll throw one more in there. That was your third?
Yes.
I'll throw another guy that was very entertaining as a front man back in the 80s. Now, not so much. He doesn't move around that much, but Klaus Meine of the Scorpions.
Yeah.
He was, rabid, running all over the place. And those guys never get any love.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to ask you, since you brought up the Scorpions, okay? Did you see that Monsters of Rock tour with Metallica and Scorpions and Van Halen?
I've seen the Scorpions once. It was 1984 Love at First Sting tour.
Gotcha. Okay, because I saw that tour, okay, the Monsters of Rock tour, okay, and there are 5 bands on that bill, including Metallica, okay, and to me, at least the day I saw them, the Scorpions blew everybody away. They were phenomenal, and one of the best concerts I've ever seen was their set. They were just phenomenal. So
because it was such a high energy band in their heyday. Not only was Klaus running all over the place, Rudolph Schenker runs all over the place, and Matthias Jab, same thing. It's like a nest of scorpions, I'd say. Right?
Absolutely. Okay, last one. Since we just talked about frontmen, and I didn't say singers, okay, but I didn't ask this one. Lead guitarists.
Well, we'll just put 2 out there right away: Eddie and Randy. I don't even have to say their last names. Eddie and Randy. From there, it could be 10 people, 15 people. But I'll just pick one that I like. Oh, okay. Again, since I'm throwing back to the 70s Kiss, Ace Frehley was very entertaining as a guitar player.
Very good. Yeah, I still got to stick with my Alex, because of my Rush love. I mean, I'm a homer. I admit it. But Eddie, obviously. My third, and I never thought it until I saw him live, Ritchie Blackmore. When I saw that Deep Purple tour, I immediately became a Ritchie Blackmore guy. The guy's a tool, but he's a phenomenal guitarist. I mean, just a phenomenal guitarist.
Well, a ton of negative stories about him and how he treated people, but I don't have firsthand knowledge of any of that stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to hang out with the guy, but I'll listen to him.
Right.
So, all right, that was fun. Awesome. I ask people, best decade for this and that and the other, but you're like me. I'd be willing to bet that if I asked you the best decade for rock, it would probably either be 70s or 80s, but I'm leaning probably towards the 80s. Am I correct?
Decade, well, you get 10 years. Well, yeah, it's really hard. It is between, if I could make my decade start in 75 and go to 85, that would be my decade.
Yeah.
My sweet spot.
I hear you. That's kind of like where I'm at too. I forgot to ask you this. Do you remember what was the first album you bought, or whether it was an album, cassette, whatever, with your own money? Not one that was given to you, but with your own money. What was the first one you ever bought?
Yes, I do.
And how old were you?
Well, it was 1977, 63. So that put me at 14, I think. Depending on what time of the year, I was either 13 or 14. Kiss, Love Gun.
Nice.
First thing that I paid money for.
Nice. I don't know how. I must have had an allowance or something. I know I started shoveling driveways when I was very young for money and stuff. But I specifically know the first album I ever bought was either in late 75 or early 76. So I would have been 8 or so. Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic.
Dude, that's a
Because
good one.
I loved Walk This Way. That was the single on the radio at the time. But that album cover scared the shit out of me. Something about it just scared the shit out of me. And then my brother, Greg, who passed away last year, he bought Rocks. And as much as I love Toys in the Attic, Rocks is a masterpiece. And that turned me into an Aerosmith fan for life. Again, I don't like all of Aerosmith, particularly when they were smacked out and later in their career. But like you said, if you could pick a 75 to 85 or whatever, I could do that with Aerosmith. You know, you take those first 5 or 6 albums and add a couple later ones, it'd be gold, you know, and then throw out everything else. But
just those two right there, right? The bulk of what I like from them are on those 2 albums.
Yeah. There's not a bad song on either one. I mean, even Big 10-inch Record, which is just a jokey song, it's still good, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first album I ever bought. The first cassette I ever bought was Styx Grand Illusion. And that was a couple of years later because of Come Sail Away. I heard that on the radio and thought it was great.
I think I got into cassettes later than most because the car that I had an 8-track player in it.
Yeah.
And I really don't know the first 8-track I got because it was whatever Columbia House sent.
I was about to mention that.
However many it was, a whole box of them damn things. I do know Cheap Trick Heaven Tonight was in there and Foghat Live. I played those things to death. But so I had 8-track. Being as cheap as I am, I had the 8-track until the 8-track player itself died, and I needed to get something new. So I think it was probably around 82, and I'm thinking it was Sammy Hagar, Standing Hampton. Might have been the first cassette I got.
Nice. Yeah, when you brought up the 8-track of Heaven Tonight, I immediately had a flashback because my best friend's sister had that. I had the cassette. Or no, actually, I had that on vinyl. But his older sister had that 8-track. And I have vivid memories of driving where it would be in the middle of a goddamn song and it'd switch. And one of those was Eau Claire, which is only like a 20-second intermission song, but it would literally play like half of it, change, and then play the other half. And it's like
terrible placement of that. But that is one of my, I mean, not so much now, but when I had that back in the 70s, I absolutely loved that little snippet. It was just short of a minute, I think.
Yeah, it's like 40 seconds.
Or it might just be over 1 minute long. But just the drums coming in, how thundering those sounded in a down, 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 down. It sounds like after At Budokan came out, it sounds like something that was from that show.
It was.
You had the crowd cheering.
Yeah, it was. They took a little snippet or whatever because they were saying goodnight to that crowd or whatever. And they just, because they were touring that album in Japan, but I'm pretty sure that they were still mastering it or whatever. But yeah, right. That's exactly what it was from.
As a big Cheap Trick fan, I always wanted them to revisit that and make a fucking song out of that. You know, actually put some more words to it other than whatever lyrics. Actually put some words to that, make it 4 minutes long, and because it's a fucking awesome little drumming and guitar. Yeah.
Heaven Tonight is I love that album. That's my favorite Cheap Trick album.
That is my favorite album also.
Yeah, not a bad song on it. It's great. Real quickly here, Mike's here. Hey, Mike, how's it going, buddy? Appreciate you being here as always. Aaron Woodward, Experience NX. Thank you, Link. Yes, you can find. I'm sorry, I'm new at this. I can't post links and stuff because I'm an idiot. I need a moderator eventually. But you can find Ricky at the Golden Age of Hard Rock, and right there, there you go, perfect. And like I said, I cannot stress enough to everybody, please like and subscribe. He is an awesome guy, as you can tell. One of my partners in crime, Sean, is here. Hey, Jim, welcome to the family. Ricky, running errands and shit today, but I wanted to stop by and say hi. I'll catch the replay. I want to pick this guy's brain with you, Jim. Yeah, Sean is a huge rock guy like me. Okay, he's a year younger than I am.
Yeah.
And when I told him that I was going to have you on here, he was very excited. He was, because he's really into music. And I told him, we were kind of flirting around. I told him, I said, if this goes well and you're comfortable in this net, I'd like to have you as a guest on that show eventually. And we'll do a special show about rock movies or something, or rock soundtracks or something, you know, music related, not so much musicals, because sorry, I don't like musicals, but we'll figure it out. So
musicals, Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, Kenny would love to talk about that, I'm sure. Stacy, can Ricky rank the movies Cobra, Secret of My Success, and Eraser? Those are apples and oranges.
Yeah, I'll just go with it. Cobra, Cobra, Cobra.
Yeah, there you go. I agree. Noah. Oh, here we go. Remember how I said Stacy did the goofy speed scenario about the escalator? She says, she corrected me. That is its own standalone movie called Escalator Bomb. So I stand corrected. Thank you for correcting me.
That's Escalator Bong. Stuck on an escalator with a bong.
Melina, Huey Lewis have a keyboard player. Yes, they did. I saw it. Huey Lewis in Alpine Valley during a monsoon rainstorm in the lawn. It was awesome.
Let me give you some Huey Lewis stuff real quick.
Okay.
Everybody out there know Sweet Sweet Connie?
Yeah.
Who Sweet Sweet Connie is from the Grand Funk Railroad song,
Yep.
We're an American Band.
Yep, the groupie.
Sweet Sweet Connie was a notoriously famous groupie who was into oral sex.
Yep.
She ranked the smallest rock star to the biggest rock star. And I'm talking about size.
Right.
Do you know who the smallest is? This guy's got to be embarrassed when a groupie who's been with hundreds of rock stars comes out and say he was the smallest. Peter Frampton.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
Who had the Love Club?
Huey Lewis? That surprises me. If this is it, whop.
Huey Lewis, man. You choke a horse. Who knew?
That's the factoid of the day. The more you know.
This and more at the golden age of hard rock.
Mike says, I saw the Scorpions in 2010 in Nashville. They had so much energy even then Rat opened. Awesome.
Dude, I just love the Scorpions. They'd be in my top 5 all-time concerts for sure.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a couple of minutes because I'm going to ask you about that. Mike, Huey Lewis Sports was the first cassette I ever bought. Yeah, actually, Sports, that was the first Huey Lewis cassette I ever bought of theirs. I saw 4 was the follow-up album. That's the tour that I saw, though.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Love 70s, Aerosmith, Draw the Line. That was the last great Aerosmith album, of the 70s anyways. Oh, Ollie, hey, there you go. You subbed Mike subs you. Well, everybody subbed to Ricky. So, Mike, I still want to pick your brain on the world of rock, Jim. That's okay, Mike, because again, I'm going to do another special show on this channel later on where I'm going to get all my music guys together and we're going to have just one big music show. And I'm going to invite you back for that one as well, Mike, or Ricky. Okay.
Yeah.
We were just talking about concerts, okay? What was the very first concert you ever saw? And do you remember how much the ticket was?
Bitches, get in line. It was $8.50. Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio fronting.
Oh,
The
nice.
Heaven and Hell tour. I don't remember the exact day, but it was September 1980.
Wow.
Opening band, Riot. Not Quiet Riot. Riot.
Yeah, right.
The New York City band. Never heard of them. Back in the day, there's no internet, none of that kind of stuff for the kids. You found out about concerts by either seeing something in the back of one of the rock magazines that so-and-so's on tour, and it might list the cities they're going to go to, or probably more frequently hearing a little spot on the radio saying,
Exactly.
with that voice, that
That
announcing
one
voice.
day you'd hear something and go, "Holy shit!"
And that's exactly the reaction. Holy shit, we got to get down there and get those tickets the minute they go on sale. Because just getting the ticket, because shit did sell out back in those days. And they were all in Florida, they were all general admission. So you got two things: get in line to just get the damn ticket, and then be at the venue when the doors open, run down there, stand right in front of the stage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
So Black Sabbath and Riot. That was
that's an awesome bill. That is an awesome bill. Yeah, my first one, we talked about it earlier, but I dug this out. November 20th, 1982. So I had just turned 15 years old. It was the Rush Signals tour at the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago. I was in the upper deck right off of the stage. So I was like right across from Neil. Perfect view of him. That's what I wanted in the first place. Excuse me. Price of the ticket, $12.50.
Wow.
And that night changed my life.
2 years later, from $8.50 to $12.50.
Well, that night changed my life. But jump ahead, almost 2 years. March 13th, 1984 was my second concert, because we mentioned it earlier. Van Halen. This one was on the main stage, or actually the lower balcony, but again, right off the stage, great, unparalleled view, saw everything. Price of the ticket, $13.50.
Hey, did they have general admission in Chicago, or where you were seeing shows?
It depended. Not for those shows, because those, if it was a smaller venue, they did.
Okay.
But with the big venues, no, it was assigned, because I think after the Who thing in Cleveland, they kind of stopped doing that for a while, in that sort of manner anyways. As far as the outdoor shows go, yeah, the lawn seats were always, wherever you want to go and that sort of thing. But the only general admission concerts that I've seen have been like club shows, where it's like a place that holds maybe 1,500 people tops. Whereas most of these tickets, we're talking arenas, so.
Right. That was one of the cool things about Florida, was even after the Who incident, nothing really changed down there. It was still general admission. So it's like the greatest time ever to be a teenager, when you can fork over $10 and stand right in front of Eddie Van Halen, if you're so motivated.
I told you about this earlier, okay? But just to continue, 1984, okay? Sunday, September 2nd. So this is almost exactly 41 years ago now, okay? This one was an outdoor arena, so this was a general admission lawn seat, okay? $10 for this ticket, plus, fee or whatever. But Billy Squier and Rat. And Rat was the opening band. That was the Out of the Cellar tour. Billy Squier was the Signs of Life tour. And Rat blew Squier off the stage. And I liked Billy Squier, but they blew him away. And then this one, 1984, October 5th, and this was back at the Rosemont Horizon, where I saw Rush and Van Halen. Sammy Hagar, the VOA tour. I Can't Drive 55. Same section as the Signals concert. Okay, so right off the stage, upper deck, $13.50. Like you said, it was a cheap. You
can't
nowadays you can't afford to go to a goddamn concert. Unless you have a really good job, you can't go to shows like we did back in the day.
I don't even know if you can buy a beer today at a show for $13. I think it might be more than that slightly.
No, I was just going through. Triumph, $12. Deep Purple, that Deep Purple concert I was talking about at Alpine, $11.
Wow.
Robert Plant. At this point, this is the most expensive ticket, okay? And this was on the main stage at the Rosemont, okay, for Robert Plant, $15. It's crazy. The good old days. I'm starting to sound like an old man here, but it's,
the golden age.
Absolutely. Again, I know every generation says that, I'm so happy I grew up in the time that I did, okay? But I am truly happy that I grew up when I did, because again, between the movies and the music and seeing so many incredible artists live for relatively cheap. I mean, I was a minimum wage kid back then. I worked at a movie theater and I made $3.35 an hour. And I still went and saw every one of those concerts, bought a couple of t-shirts, a program, everything. I mean, the whole 9 yards. I've got some years from like 86 where I saw like 5 concerts in a month.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
And I mean, don't even get me started on this, right? It's and the record stores, every week you go in and like new albums are there every week. Some album that is now considered iconic, epic, or whatever, that shit was coming out every week when we were growing up.
Yep.
You didn't have enough money to buy everything. I know I didn't. I'd have to go there and be like, okay, it's Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, Judas Priest, Living After Midnight, or Iron Maiden Debut. Which one do I want?
Right.
You know, those were all from May of 1980, by the way. So it's like, and then guess what? In June, there's going to be another crop of great albums again, right?
Yep. And Alex here leaves a good point.
Like,
Back in the day when lip syncing was rare, absolutely. The only time people lip synced is when they were on the American Bandstand or the Ed Sullivan Show. I mean,
yeah.
Well, actually,
or the British rock shows, I think, are that's the way. I'm trying to think of
Top of the Pops or whatever.
Top of the Pops was always a lip syncing, so a lot of the bands would just goof off, knowing like, we're not going to lip sync and try to fool people that we're singing. We know we're not singing. So
Sweet. There's a great clip of Sweet doing Ballroom Blitz, where the drummer is just, you can just tell he's like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, if any of your listeners are our ages, they know what it would be like to stay up late on a Saturday night to catch Don Kirshner's rock concert, shows like that, to get a glimpse of scene bands that, whatever, Kiss, Ted Nugent, Cheap Trick, Aerosmith, whoever was on there at the time.
Yep, the Midnight Special was the one that I used to watch.
That was another good one from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was telling Sean and Kenny and the guys last week when we were talking about Ozzy, because they mentioned that they remember Ozzy having a concert on TV at one point, like on MTV.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I remember vividly in 1981 seeing Rush live on MTV, which became the Exit Stage Left video. Okay. But it premiered on MTV, and that was the first time that I had heard Rush before that, but that was the first time I saw them on stage doing their thing. Mm-hmm. And my mind was blown. And then like a year and a half later is when I actually saw them live for the first time.
Do you remember seeing HBO would have concerts too? Oh, yeah. And there was a great one with Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Like the From the Inside album. And
yeah.
I'm like, you know how HBO would put the shit on like 5 times a day at different times, and I'd get the little HBO guide and circle every time Alice Cooper was going to be on. I think I must have watched half of those. It could be at 2:00 in the morning. It could be at 8:00 in the morning, or whatever it was. I'd be like right there, ready for an Alice Cooper show again.
Okay, this is kind of a controversial subject for us music guys, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. Your feelings on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame are probably about the same as mine. Okay?
Let's just call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame and start from there.
Okay, fair enough. But I do want to ask you this, okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you could probably come up with 100 bands that are deserving of to replace 100 bands that are in there that are like, what the fuck are they doing in there? Because that's what I feel, okay? But whatever. No disrespect to any of those artists, okay?
Yeah.
But I used to scream every year until they were finally in there about Rush, okay? To me, they were a first ballot, no-brainer in, okay? Iron Maiden is a band like that still is not in, okay? What's the one band that you think should definitely be in there that is not?
Well, slowly, most of them have been allowed in many years past when they were eligible, right? The people that run the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Rolling Stone magazine, they look down on hard rock and heavy metal.
Yes, they do.
you need to be making some kind of political statement, like I don't know, a folk singer, or they love people like Bruce Springsteen. Which, hey, I'm fine with Bruce Springsteen too. Yeah, he should probably be in there. But to say this is art, this is not art. It's fucking music. It's all art. It's all in the eye of the beholder. It's like looking at a painting. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. But to like take one class of music and be like, nah, that's for kids or something. I don't know what they just definitely look down on it. To the point I was going to say about the Scorpions, Rolling Stone doesn't even recognize the Scorpions. They put out a I have it somewhere. It's a reference book, probably behind me somewhere, of all the fucking music that's been made. The Scorpions don't even have one album in there.
Yeah, don't get me going on Rolling Stone.
But you'll get some shit that nobody's even heard of, and they'll have 5 albums. Scorpions can't even get noticed for Love at First Sting, at least. Come on.
Right.
But you know what? So a lot of the bands that were denied for so long have finally been allowed in. But I would say the one that is still out, that's the travesty of justice, would be Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Or the Scorpions for that. I mean, I agree with you about Scorpions.
There's no value in Iron Maiden music by those people that vote on who comes in. Dolly Parton can come in to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before a band like Iron Maiden that is still selling out arenas all across the world. Their weakest market is the United States. When they go to other countries, they play football stadiums.
Yeah.
And the fans are fucking crazy about Iron Maiden. And
go to South America.
They are still making albums. They are still relevant. And no, can't you guys?
Yeah, my wife is the biggest Dolly Parton fan on earth. Okay, she loves Dolly Parton, and even she was like, "What the fuck is Dolly Parton doing in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?" Because even Dolly Parton was like, "What the fuck am I doing in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? There's no reason, you know."
I think the answer might be just quit calling it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Start calling it the Music Hall of Fame. Yep. Because then you can take all these genres of music that really, what is their connection to rock and roll?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's more or less exactly the way I feel about it. Because again, they'll put hip hop artists and country artists in there, but yet they won't put any rock people in their halls of fame. And that's the part that I don't understand. You know, I mean, either make it, like you said, a music hall of fame, or keep the goddamn music separate the way it's supposed to be.
The other thing is not letting people in, but the bigger thing is making people go 10, 15 years after they're eligible. Bands like Black Sabbath. If you can't figure out the relevance of Black Sabbath to music in general, then you say they're not, their contribution to music wasn't of such that they should come in the first year they're eligible, which is 20 years after the first album. So you're going to make them wait another 20 years to come in because they're not as relevant as, I don't know, Bruce Springsteen's guitar player. I don't know who these people are, Niels Lofgren or whoever. You know, they're going to let somebody in that just a very small audience for. They get in because they're more relevant than somebody like Black Sabbath. So the crime in that is that when they do let these bands in, they fucking hate each other. Like, look at Van Halen's induction, right? They waited so long
right?
On that.
Yeah.
Kiss, the same thing. They're such, you know, they can sit at the same table, but we will not perform together. I will give props to Cheap Trick. They don't like each other either. You know, there's a lot of bad blood there between Bun and the rest of the guys, but they did it for the fans. They got up there and they played.
Yeah.
But who's the most recent one? Bad Company. Now they're going to be at the next one, but not. The guitar player just passed away.
Yeah.
They waited so freaking long, right? That band, 74, so they were eligible in 94. I believe their debut was 74. So they could have been in from 94 on. It is now 2025.
Yeah. Yeah.
31 years. They had to wait past their eligibility date. It's crazy.
Yeah. And Shaka Khan got in before them.
And nothing against rap music or anything. It's not my thing. But God, when they nominate some of these people, like, I can't tell you one song by these people. So that versus something like an Iron Maiden that's been doing this since 1980 and still doing it. on a level that matches all the whoever your modern performers are. You know, not Taylor Swift, obviously. She owns the whole universe. But you know, take another random entertainer that sells out arenas in America, put them up against Iron Maiden. I bet Iron Maiden's making more money, selling more merch.
Absolutely, and they're still doing it. I mean, yeah, especially down in South America. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Beat it, brother.
Yep. Hey, Dan's here. How's it going, buddy? Thank you so much for being here. And he says, I don't think Edgar Winter's in it either. No, he's not. And again, that guy is a true musician. I mean, he plays everything.
He's not a drummer. He's a true musician, right?
Yeah. Blow me, Jarhead. What band have you seen more than any other?
Me, Cheap Trick. I don't know how the exact number for you. It's somewhere more than 25, less than 30, somewhere in there.
Wow. How about second? Do you know who your second most would be?
Probably Iron Maiden. Close to around 10 times.
Wow. That's awesome. How about a bucket list band? Is there any band that you really wish you could have seen that you didn't get a chance to?
There's a ton of them, man. I feel like I have seen some of the best tours ever, but there's a shitload of ones I did not see. So to start with, my first concert was 1980. So all that shit before 1980.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just throw a couple out. Black Sabbath, 78, with these young boys from Pasadena opening up, right?
Yeah.
I would love to see Sabbath and Van Halen opening. The Queen stuff, that was prior to there. I mean, there's so many. Thinking after there, never seen Freddie Mercury, so I would have liked to have seen Queen with Freddie Mercury. I would like to have seen AC/DC with Bon Scott.
Yeah.
Nothing against Brian. I've seen that show a couple times,
yeah.
But Bon Scott's Bon Scott.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just the list could just go on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a couple that you mentioned, I'm right there with you. Zeppelin was supposed to be my first one. And that one still bothers me to this day. I am extremely grateful that I did get a chance to see, not only Eric Clapton, but Stevie Ray Vaughan, who opened for him that night, because he passed away shortly after that concert. And again, at the time, I wasn't a huge fan, but I appreciated him as a musician. Then when I saw him live, I became a fan. And then when I heard about what happened, of course, then it was like, holy shit, you know, I was kind of obsessed with him for a while. But yeah, that guy definitely gone way too young.
Randy Rhoads. That's fun.
I would have loved. See, I've seen Ozzy like 5 times. We were talking about that on the show, but I never got to see him with Sabbath, and I never got to see him with any guitar player other than Zach.
Okay.
So I didn't. The first one I saw, ironically enough, was the No More Tears tour, which was called the No More Tours.
Right.
He was going to retire, and that was why I went to that concert. I was like, holy shit, this is going to be the last chance I ever get a chance to see Ozzy. So I did. I went and saw him. Great concert, you know. But then a couple of years later, Osmosis comes out, and he comes out with the Retirement Sucks tour. So guess who went and saw him again?
Yeah. By the way, I love the title of the new sequel to Spinal Tap. The End Continues. It's right there. It's making fun of all this shit where these guys just constantly have a farewell tour. And then,
you know, I hate remakes and I hate sequels and I hate reboots, but that one I'm actually looking forward to because I adore that original one so much. But that one, because all of the actual people involved with the original are still involved, it gives me hope, you know, that it's going to be good. So fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I will go back to it, okay? Let's go. We'll do a small thing. I'll combine a couple of games that I usually do. Usually with the movie stuff, I go with Best Decade, and I also do an underrated, overrated thing. But I think I'm going to combine them a little bit, okay? So right now, we're talking 70s bands. Only 70s bands. Or bands that were at their height in the 70s, okay?
Okay.
Bearing that in mind, I want you to pick one band from that era that you feel is underrated and one that is overrated. and why?
Bit of a hard question there. Let's see. Underrated, meaning most people don't even know of them.
No. What I think by underrated, okay, let me explain better what I meant by that, okay? Because normally I do explain it better. Overrated means not necessarily something that you don't like, just something that you've never understood why so many other people are obsessed with it, okay?
Right. Why do they love it?
And the flip side of that is underrated, not something that everybody doesn't think is any good, okay, or hasn't heard of, but something that you don't think got the love that it deserved. Because you're like, wow, this is really good. How come, people like this album, but they should love it? That sort of thing.
Okay. And some of these bands were big in the 70s. Well, you know what? The one I will go with, there's several, but UFO. 70s UFO with Michael Schenker, to me, should be up there with the other stuff, $1 million, multi-platinum albums. And for whatever reason, they're kind of like something that people that love music have, all of them love them, but the average listener doesn't really know any songs by them at all.
Right. No, I love UFO.
So I would think that they should have been bigger than they were.
Okay.
You could also in that one throw in the Babies.
Oh yeah,
John Waite,
yeah.
I like that band. That's one I wish I could have seen too in the 70s, opening up for somebody. But I would say the music they made it should have gone further than it did.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that song, Isn't It Time or whatever, was huge when I was a kid,
If someone's not familiar with that, just put on their greatest hits. I mean, that's a great, 10, 11 tracks on there. I love every one of those songs.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a band, though, from the 70s that you think, is a little bit overrated?
Yeah, let's see. How do I put this? Because I did like some Aerosmith, but Aerosmith, to me, it's not the band that I really get.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like I said, I love Aerosmith mainly because of that era, early Aerosmith. It had such an effect on me at a young age.
And especially those two back-to-back albums, Toys in the Attic and Rocks. I mean, It doesn't really get too much better than that to begin with. But I guess maybe their live presentations is what did it for me. I just wasn't impressed. And I realized I was seeing them when they were probably dealing with addiction issues and stuff. Yeah. Very sloppy. And I guess that kind of like made me feel like, well, this is the first time I saw them. Like, this is what all the hubbub, this is Aerosmith. Yeah, those songs do kind of sound like they did on the album. But I guess I just wasn't impressed with seeing them live.
Yeah. No, the first time I saw Aerosmith, like I said, that was on the Done with Mirrors tour, and they were still dealing with their addiction shit, and they sucked. They were fucking horrible, okay? But the opening band was a little band that I had never heard of at the time, who blew them off the stage, and their name was Guns N' Roses. And I was just like, who is that guy with the hat? Man, can he play? I mean, because I didn't know jack about Guns N' Roses at that point. And it was like, wow. But then a couple of years later, when they kind of cleaned up and Permanent Vacation came out. Now, again, I'm not a huge fan of that album. I like the deeper cuts on that one, Pump, all those 80s albums, okay? All the songs that became hits, I don't like any of them, okay? None of them, especially the ballads. They're all fucking terrible, okay? But there's some deep cuts on each one of those albums that are decent, okay? And I got to admit, when I saw that Permanent Vacation tour, I saw them twice on that tour, and they were great both times. And every time I saw them from that point on, they were great. But again, the last time I saw them was in the 90s. So, and I heard that they were pretty bad after that. So,
yeah, I mean, like I say, I like listening to those early albums. It's just maybe soured by seeing two performances by them. Didn't really get it, either one.
Gotcha.
And in fact, I believe I can say we don't usually leave concerts early, but I think in both of those incidents, we left early. Like maybe saw 6, 7, 8 songs, and like I've seen enough.
Wow.
Just
Yeah,
what
I was going to ask. That was going
didn't
to be my
jive
next,
with them.
that was going to be my next question when we got out of the game, but I'll bring it up now because you just kind of answered it. I was going to say, did you ever leave a concert early? What's your worst concert and why?
Oh, it would okay. I will get to that. Yes, those two I think are the only ones that I voluntarily left early.
Okay.
And then me and a bunch of Marines got thrown out of
Oh, here we go.
a Loverboy concert. And there were about 3 songs. They were the headliner. We saw the opening band, the Hooters, if you remember that band.
And we danced.
And we made it about 3 songs into Loverboy when, unbeknownst to us, I guess we'd pissed off some people being drunk Marines. And next thing I know, security's telling like all 5 of us, "You're out of there." Nice. Like, whatever. It is hot tonight.
Loving every minute of it.
Okay, so what was the question? Worst concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have one. And it was funny because we really built this concert up with some neighbors that we asked to go with us from having seen Meatloaf before. Mm-hmm. That was like almost a perfect concert. It was merging theater with song, and it was great. It was when he had his comeback and he had Bat Out of Hell 2, and he was touring for that. That was a fabulous concert. So we tell these people, he's coming like, I don't know, 20 years later, he's going to be at the Wolf Trap Performing Arts Center in Virginia. And we're like, you guys are going to love this shit. Dude, it sucks so bad. I think he had been on tour for a year and a half by the time he rolled into Virginia. He couldn't fucking sing any of these songs. He was bent over trying to hit high notes, and the band was precision tight. They were on. He could not deliver the vocals. He walked out what he thought was possibly a catwalk or something. He fell from the stage into the audience. Big man.
Yeah.
The show stopped for like 10 minutes. And then he comes out and goes, the show had already sucked when this happened. Then he comes out and goes, I'm gonna power through. I'm like, shit, man, you probably should go to a hospital or something. That's like fucking 6 feet. You dropped 6 feet onto concrete. Anyway, he powered through. Couldn't sing.
Wow.
That would definitely be the worst show I've ever seen.
Wow.
Didn't leave early though. Did not leave early.
I ain't never seen anything that bad.
He did not leave early. He couldn't sing. He fell 6 feet to the ground. We stayed for the last song.
Well, yeah, because it's like a train wreck. You can't look away. You know?
Man, I never lived down the shit I got from the neighbors that we took to that show. They're like, I'm never going to anything you say is good again.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of really, I'm more than a couple. I've seen some really shitty shows, but nothing like that. I mean, the one that pissed me off more than any, the first and only time I went and saw Boston when Third Stage came out.
Okay.
So that was 87, 88.
Yep.
I'm at Alpine Valley, that same place that I saw all these other concerts, okay? And at the time, those tickets were pretty damn expensive, and we sat all the way at the top of the hill because it was so packed.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm not exaggerating. It sounded, not only were they lip syncing, which I'm convinced they were lip syncing, because every song had a fucking fade out, just like the albums, okay?
Yeah.
But it was about as loud as our conversation is right now. I mean, I've heard a boombox louder than this concert. I'm sitting next to my friends and we're talking to each other like this and hearing every word that we're saying. How many concerts have you been to where you're able to do that shit? You know, normally it's, this is great, man. What? You know, I mean, yeah. So
yeah, you're hoarse the next day from yelling to
yeah.
your buddies. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to this day, I'm convinced that they were fucking lip syncing and that there was something wrong with the PA. It was just bad. But the worst one I ever saw, without a doubt, I mean, I was like in hell for 3 hours. Okay. Again, my ex-wife, God love her, she had horrible taste in music. Okay. She made me but take her to see Richard Marx and Mike and the Mechanics.
Who
And
was
let me just say, brother, that
Who
was
was the
3
headliner?
hours of my life I'll never get back. I mean, oh my God, was that rough.
Who headlined that?
Richard Marx did, believe it or not. Hold on to the nights, pal.
I've seen him, and I actually, back in '87 when he was brand new, I thought it was a pretty decent show at the time. But you brought up something. I wasn't even considering the shit that I've had to watch because my wife wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Right away, I can give you one that I knew she wanted. I bought the tickets for her because I knew she liked this girl, Norah Jones.
Oh.
First of all, the AC wasn't working in this venue. It was hot as hell, and every song was just a piano slow song. That music's fine if, I don't know, you want to drink some wine on the deck or something maybe. But goddamn, when it is hot as hell and they don't have the AC working right, and every song is like, I've never the urge to want to fall asleep during a concert. Never had that before, but that's one.
REO Speedwagon in 1987, around the same time, actually, 87 or so. It wasn't High Infidelity, and it wasn't Good Trouble. I think it was
this time. No, it was what is that one? I can see the album cover on.
But they played. They played maybe 15 songs that night. Okay. Every fucking one of them was a bubblegum ballad. They played 2 songs from the 70s, one of which was Riding the Storm Out, which was the encore, okay? And that was one of the only rock songs that they played. The other one was Time for Me to Fucking Fly, which is another ballad. And I mean, oh my God. Again, my ex-wife, her and my friend's girlfriend, they were loving it. They thought it was like great. And me and my friend were both looking at each other like, dude, you want to go get a beer? Yeah, let's go grab a beer.
Yeah.
The things we do for love.
You said the show that pissed you off the most. I do have one that pissed me off the most. Ace Frehley at one of these 1,000 seat clubs.
Yeah.
And the tickets say show begins at 8. Oh, okay, we get there, and this is literally like probably as big as your house. So there's a bar in the back and the stage in the width of your house, probably. So we're like, okay, 8 o'clock, some local band comes on. It just sounds like noise. It's just like high pitched thrash noise. We're like, okay, well, Ace will be on after this. So we get some drinks. That band does 40 minutes or whatever. And then another one comes on, does the same kind of music. You don't know any of the songs. It's nobody who's touring or anything. It's just some local band. That one does about 40 minutes. We're like, oh God, okay, finally, Ace should be on around 10 o'clock. Nothing from 10 o'clock until 12:30 at night. Ace is probably drunk in the back room or whatever. They need to wait until he can physically play because he was there. We saw his bus when we pulled into the place. 2.5 hours to make people wait to see you. That was a pissed off show.
That's Axl Rose bullshit there, man. That's fucked up. Real quickly, got to acknowledge a couple new people just jumped in here. Barry's here from the UK. Hey, lads, how are you? Thank you so much for being here, Barry, as always. And also from Iowa, my good friend here, if I can get him up there, Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music. Hey, Corey, how you doing today, buddy? And Barry says, sorry, I'm late. Been watching the football, not soccer, as you call it. Yeah, me and Barry like to take the piss out of each other here real quick. Okay, now this is a good question because I was actually going to ask you this, but my good friend over here at Words and Pictures asked it first. Is there any hard rock song or band you would admit to being a guilty, or any non-hard rock song or band you would admit to being a guilty pleasure?
Oh, hell yeah. My channel is the golden age of hard rock, but I have a varied taste in music. And some of them would easily equate, right? The blues, I love blues, but you can see that one, right?
Yeah.
I love 80s Euro tech bands like O&D, The Cure, New Order, stuff that's just totally opposite of Black Sabbath and stuff
Goth
like
rock.
that. So you could say that all of those are guilty pleasures for me. You wouldn't expect that I'd be listening to that possibly, but love it.
Yeah.
Shop Boys. Yeah.
I got 2 CDs right now on my shelf that I would be, I wouldn't go so far as to say that, they're guilty pleasures, but people really that know me wouldn't associate me with that. Okay. Because most people know me as a hard rock or a metal guy. Okay. But the soundtrack from To Live and Die in LA from Wang Chung, which I absolutely fucking love. Okay. It's all keyboard shit. And The Big Prize from Honeymoon Suite. Do you remember Honeymoon Suite?
Yeah.
Yeah. That second album, which is called The Big Prize, Bad Attitude, New Girl Now, or whatever. No, New Girl Now was the first one. Bad Attitude, what was the other? I don't know. But anyways, I love that that album. Okay. I mean, I love it. But it's all keyboard light rock at best.
Right.
But it's not something that people would ever really associate me listening to. But that sucker's been on heavy rotation for 40 years.
Picture this, if you will. I'm hard at work making up my post for the golden age of hard rock, while in the background I have Belinda Carlisle playing.
Vacation, I'm going.
Now you look behind the curtains.
There you go. Nice.
Hey, you have, I think from watching before, you have a lot of other YouTubers from England, the UK,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
If they see this guy, this is me as a young cop. If they see this guy, will they say hi to him for me? Tell him Rick Myers at the golden age. Can you make that guy out?
Wanker.
I'm the one in the orange raincoat, because what do you wear when you're going to meet a future king of England? An orange raincoat. So that was me with, at the time, Prince Charles.
Right. That's pretty cool, though.
See him, tell him I said hi.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. Speaking of that area, here we go with my good friend Mark. Hey, Mark, how's it going, buddy? Thank you so much. And let's see here. Guilty pleasure would be American folk music. Nice.
Oh, Lord.
Wow. Still man's making quality band. Yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. Yeah. How do you, another one that I absolutely love, and again, when I was a kid, I loved my hard rock, but then you couldn't get away from certain bands or artists that basically were on the radio constantly growing up. Okay. Guys
bands
like Elton John, Billy Joel. Huh?
Bands that spoke for a generation, like the Bay City Rollers.
Yeah, my sister loved those fuckers. And I still tease her about that shit to this day. I'll call her on every once in a while. I go, hey, Sharon, you know what day it is? SATUR. She'll just hang up on me. But there's certain artists, okay, like when we did the Ozzy tribute, Kenny was part of the panel, and he wasn't really, like I said earlier, he's not a really rock guy. He's more of a softer. Air Supply is more his speed, okay? But he's also a huge Billy Joel fan, for instance, okay? And said that when Billy Joel dies, knock on wood, someday, he'll be a wreck. And I said, hey, I can deal with that. I will probably shed a tear as well, because, again, even though I'm a hard rock guy, Billy Joel's one of those artists that has been in my life. You know, he's part of my soundtrack of my life. You know, there's certain artists like that, okay? Bob Seger, okay, is like my favorite of those types of artists.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the day he dies will be the day that I'll be like, oh God. Now you mentioned Bruce Springsteen earlier. Okay. I'd put him in that type of category, although I'm not a huge fan, but Seger is that type of person for me. Is there an artist like that for you that, you know, if something happens, God forbid, you know, it'll hit you hard, but not necessarily a hard rock type guy.
Right. Because, you know, on my channel, I'm in the comments, it's constantly what about this? I'm like, oh, I love that guy, but I don't consider that hard rock. And one has already passed away. Tom Petty
Yeah.
is one that I've always liked. Lucky enough to see him live. That, yeah, it's not really the genre of music I focus on my channel, but love Tom Petty. I think I have every CD that he's put out. Bruce will be one of those guys, I think. I mean, he's just that big in the business. I'm not into the stuff that he's put out most recently, but like all of the early stuff through the 80s, even through the 90s, like Magic, I think was the last one that I really liked from him. But hey, when he goes, he's a titan name in music, right?
Yeah.
I don't listen to her very much at all. And when I do, it would just be the 80s stuff that I'll throw in there with my Belinda Carlisle and OMD and The Cure. But Madonna is a titan name.
Yeah.
It's going to be big news the day that she does pass away. Hey, you're talking about this, and last night I told you I had too many drinks last night with some neighbors out on our deck, and you know what a Deadpool is?
Yeah.
Okay, so we made our selections for for the Deadpool. I went with Robert Duvall, and of course we don't want any of these people.
No. I get it.
It's just
the man is pushing 100 years old, so that's
the winner is the one whose celebrity dies first. So I got Robert Duvall. My wife went with Clint Eastwood because he is 95. Duvall's 94. This other couple went with Frankie Valli, and I'm like, shit, you might have nailed it right there because he might be the next one to go. And who did my buddy go with? He went with Michael Caine. So there's our Deadpool selections.
Yeah, I don't want any of those guys to die. I'll be crying
if
any of them go. They're all, Well, I might not cry for Frankie Valli, but I got respect for the man. Hey, when that guy who sang the song "Lightning Strikes" died earlier last year, you know the song I'm talking about? Lightning strikes again. That old '60s song with the falsetto voice.
I'm drawing a blank on that.
Oh, okay, never mind. But we were talking about it on the Ozzy thing because, again, he died this year. And for years, I thought that was Frankie Valli. And it turned out that it wasn't. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry for my bad singing.
Yeah, I was going to tell you're singing, but I'm drawing a blank on that.
I got to go back to this real quick since you showed that picture of Chuck, okay? Barry from the UK. Unfortunately, our king is a complete traitor and is hated by most of us.
Well, in that case, tell him I want my money back.
Texas says, I call him Charlie Big Ears. And then Barry says he is complete wet lettuce.
And the funny thing was when I got that, I'm like, I would have much rather shook hands with Lady Di.
Right. And then Barry says, Jim, stop lying. We all know you're a pop guy. Yeah. No, I was never a pop guy. I really wasn't. Actually, that's not true. As a small child, I will admit that I got swept up in the disco shit for a while. But then again, everybody did for a while. So I was a small child, so we can be forgiven for that. And there's still some disco songs I like. So
yeah.
Let's see here. Stacy, do you want a Tom Petty biopic? Val Kilmer's son as Tom Petty, or maybe Jack Quaid? Love Jack Quaid. I don't know if Val Kilmer's son is an actor or not, but I have no interest in a Tom Petty biopic. How about you?
I don't really know who I think could pull that off. I don't know.
I mean, I love Tom Petty like you. I was gutted when he died, and I got a good story about seeing Tom Petty live. The Wildflowers tour.
Okay.
Great album.
Good one. Yeah.
Yeah. But Alpine again. God, I've seen so many concerts at Alpine Valley, dude. But anyways, we're at Alpine. We're in the lawn. And it's raining like hell. I mean, it's just raining like hell. The whole damn show. Okay. And Tom Petty, in between songs, he says, you know, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, you know, braving the weather. And he goes, and I especially want to give a shout out to all of you out there in the lawn. And they turn on the house lights, you know, and we're all like, woo, you know. And he goes, maybe if we all put together, you know, some good thoughts or some good feelings, we can get, you know, God to let up for a couple of minutes for our few friends to enjoy this next song. And he starts playing the song, You Don't Know How It Feels. Okay. Anybody who doesn't know that song, the chorus is, let's get to the point. Let's roll another joint. Okay. I shit you not. I am not kidding. Before that song kicked on, I kept on trying to light a joint and could not because it was raining so hard. The second that song started, the rain started to slow down. By the time he started singing, it stopped completely. I was able to light a joint. We smoked it during the song. The second that song was over, the fucking clouds opened up again and it rained again. I shit you not. I am not exaggerating. Because even he was like, positive feelings, you know, positive feedback. And I mean, it was one of those stranger than fiction moments, you know, but it was so cool. Yeah. Rest in peace, Tom Petty.
I thought he was talking about doing a robbery somewhere, roll another joint.
Yeah. That's the cop in you, and that's the stoner in me, you know?
I'm kidding. I knew exactly what he was talking about.
I was such an idiot. For years, I had no idea Passage to Bangkok was about weed. I was getting high to that album and not knowing that that song was about weed.
Missed opportunities.
Nah, just dumb kid getting stoned too early. Okay, here we go. This one's specifically for you. I've never asked this before, but I'm going to ask this one. This one's going to, you can take your time and think about this one, but I want you to come up with your own super group. So you get to pick a drummer, a bassist, a lead guitarist, and a vocalist.
Okay. This is people that are still alive today in their current state or people back in their heyday?
Anytime.
All right, let's go with heyday.
Okay. Heydays works for me.
Okay. Vocalist. No, this is kind of really what we did. No, we're talking about probably for making albums.
Or concert. Whatever.
Okay. Well, I've always liked Robin Zander's voice. So Robin Zander will be my singer. But we're going to upgrade him on guitar. I know that might piss off some Cheap Trick fans, but we're going to upgrade the guitar there and go with something like, let's see. Maybe Eddie, I guess. I don't know how that would pair with the voice, but for bass, I like Pete Way, like I said before. And for drums, I'm going to give this one to you. We're going to get the Professor on the drums.
Yeah, I want to listen to that. I definitely want to listen to that. Okay, I will go with, because I'm going to go outside the box in my picks. I'm not going to pick people that I already picked. So, bearing that in mind, my bassist, I want Justin Chancellor from Tool. Singer, I will go with Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, yeah.
Guitarist, I will go with, man, there's so many great guitarists. I'm going to give Rick Emmett some love.
Oh, that's a good
Triumph. Okay.
This is really a hard.
He would be great with Dio for background vocals as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And that leaves my drummer.
Yep.
And I always want to go with either Danny, John, or Neil, especially, but I can't. So I will go with shit. Yeah. Just to be totally outside the box, I'll go with Ringo Starr. Because he is criminally underrated as a drummer. Most people think of Ringo and they laugh, just like what you did. Ringo is actually, drummers know. That man, right. He's a drummer's drummer.
Very small kit, kind of like Bunny Carlos.
Yep. Yeah, because Bun, I was thinking about Bun, but you had already mentioned Bun. So I was like, nah, I got to go outside the box. But yeah. But again, I want to watch either of those lineups. It's like, hell yeah, man, I want to see the type of music that they would produce. Now, this one I have asked before. Somehow you find yourself on a desert island, but you're a Marine, you can handle it, okay? But all is not lost. You have electricity. And not only that, you have a working TV, a working Blu-ray player, and you have 3 movies to keep you occupied, and only 3 movies to keep you occupied. What are those movies?
I pulled some out thinking you might ask me something kind of like that.
Okay?
Let's see.
We like props on this show.
Okay, let's see. Geez, only 3.
Only 3.
I guess we're going to go with this one for 1.
Nice.
Anna Miles.
Nice.
I've always liked this one. Ooh, I know one I could have pulled out that I didn't.
Oh, the greatest horror movie of all time.
Just in case they start to build a mall on that desert island. And another one that let's go with this one.
Wolverines!
Just in case the commies parachute onto the island.
That's right. I love Red Dawn. I love all 3 of those movies. So, yeah, great picks. But a tropical storm hits.
Yeah.
And somehow, the only thing that's affected is your Blu-ray player. But you do have a stereo system, and you have 3 CDs with you. And they could be anything. They could be soundtrack albums. They could be greatest hits compilations. They could be studio albums, live albums, scores, whatever. If it was released on a physical property or physical content in some form, you have 3. What are they?
All right, let's go with at least one from Pink Floyd. Dark Side of the Moon. I could probably get more songs if I chose The Wall, but I like Dark Side of the Moon. Let's go with that one. And then anytime I have some work that I need to do, paint a room, which is boring as shit, what do I throw on? Cheap Trick, Heaven Tonight, just because it's like comfort food, maybe.
Right.
Maybe along those lines. Let's go with the White Album by the Beatles.
Nice. Okay, let's see here. Funny how many hard rockers don't live past 70. Yeah, like I said, I didn't think Ozzy was gonna, ever die. I just didn't,
Yeah.
Stacy, is it okay to make a Deadpool of you? No, it's not okay. And I know you were making good jokes, Stacy. That was actually a very good joke. So, favorite disco records. There's only one, and that's the soundtrack to Saturday Night Fever.
That's what I was just going to say. I don't really know any disco that's solid, but I know that
covers it.
Yeah.
That covers it because, again, I'm not a disco guy. Every song on that album is great. It is. It's just, if you ever had to go to an alien species and explain disco, all you need to do is hand them that album and say, here you go.
I take that back. As a teenager, somehow I came into possession of Casey and the Sunshine Band's greatest hits. So I do know that one. But I would go with Saturday Night Fever soundtrack.
You know what? I kind of got nostalgic love for Casey and the Sunshine Band. Not all their songs, but certain ones, especially ones that have popped up in movies.
Yeah.
Like Kingsman. Did you ever see Kingsman, the original Kingsman movie?
Yep.
When come on, they play that song and everybody goes nuts. It's great.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jim, throwing shapes on the dance floor to disco with flares on and hairy chest would be glorious to see. Well, I don't have a hairy chest, so no gold chains. My satin shirt's at the cleaner, so yeah.
Yeah, you got room in that garage to hang a disco ball in there, put some lights on.
As soon as the show is over, pal, the polyester comes on. That's just the way it is. Now, we didn't go back. I started to combine those 2 games, but I never finished, okay? About the overrated, underrated in the decade.
Okay.
80s. One band that you think was overrated, one that you think was underrated. Because I'm going to be controversial, and I'll go with the overrated for you on my behalf first, and I'll explain why. Okay?
Good. Sure.
Def Leppard is overrated, and the reason why, Let me specify first. I'm a fan of Def Leppard. Okay. I think High and Dry is one of the greatest albums of all time. I fucking love that album. Okay. I really enjoy Pyromania. I enjoy about 3 songs off of Hysteria, and I enjoy about 3 more songs overall from that point on. So because of that, I think they're overrated.
And I dismiss you. No.
I was going to say Bon Jovi, but I think Bon Jovi's had more sustained quality over the years than Def Leppard has.
Well, what I would say, and I'm not the person to defend any particular band or anything,
Yep.
is Def Leppard has the record sales to back that shit up.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I think the one year, I think Hysteria might be like 10 million copies sold or something.
Yeah.
Somebody liked it.
Oh, yeah.
At the time.
Every goddamn song on that album was
But
a video at one point. Every song.
There are certain bands, when I post things by them on my channel, I think we were talking about it with Ted Nugent, but there are certain things when I put up, and Def Leppard is one of them. People loved them for like the first 2, but as soon as they made it big with Pyromania, fuck that.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, I like Pyromania.
Oh, I like Pyromania.
I play it fairly regularly. And Hysteria, I don't play it as much, but it had some good stuff on it in '87.
Yeah.
I
got burned out on that album because I owned that album, or I owned it at the time. Okay. And there are still, I mean, I said there's only 2 songs on it. That's not fair. There's more than 2 songs on that album I like. Right. I think Pour Some Fucking Sugar on Me is what killed me for that album.
I think that's something that a lot of us have in common. If you think a band of them as your band, because the world doesn't know about them yet, and then when they get that album that cracks them wide open and everybody knows about them, it's a sense of, well, I was a fan before they were big, and some people will call it they sold out. Well, actually, what you liked about that band just finally hit its apex, and everybody knows about them now.
The Metallica effect.
And some do change too after that, and there's an argument there that Hysteria does not sound like High and Dry for sure.
Well, like I said, I mean, I understood why at that point why they changed, because that's when Rick Allen lost his arm and everything else. So and again, I got the utmost respect for Rick Allen. That man could play drums better with 1 arm than I can with 2. Okay, so I certainly bow down to that man. I really do. I just like I said, to me it's just they turned into like they went from being a hard rock band to being like a bubblegum band to me, and I saw so many bands do that through the years. Okay, not to the degree of like classic bands like say Chicago. Okay, in the 70s, Chicago was a rock band, or REO Speedwagon. I mentioned them earlier. In the 70s, REO Speedwagon was a rock band, and they were a good rock band. And then they sold a couple of, went big on an album with ballads or softer type edge to their music, and then they specialized in that from that point on. And to a lesser degree, I think that's what Def Leppard did,
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely an argument that can be made.
Yeah. I mean, but I understand what you're saying too, okay? Because again, when you were saying, that they like the first couple of albums, and then after, kind of like me, I know by talking to people, Metallica fans are like that. Everything up to the Black album is gold. Right. Yeah. And then they sold their souls on the Black album, and everything from that point on sucks, Yeah. So I don't feel that way.
Yeah, I like that album.
Yeah.
The other band that people will do that on is Iron Maiden. First 2 albums, after that, as the English will say, pure shite. Yeah.
Whereas Power Slave's my favorite Iron Maiden.
And I'm like, to me, Iron Maiden is Bruce Dickinson, so I don't feel that. But those comments will just, anything I do with Iron Maiden, those comments will be there.
Barry, I love Def Leppard. You will be missed.
Yes, unsubscribe and come over to my channel.
Yeah, speaking of, everybody, please.
We love Def Leppard at my channel.
If you haven't done so, please get over to Ricky's channel, The Golden Age of Hard Rock, and subscribe. because I was going to mention that again. But yeah, Barry's great. Me and him, we fuck with each other constantly. So, all right, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. So if anybody has any questions, now would be the time. But I want to give Ricky a chance before I start whoring out my shit. I want to give you a chance to pimp out your content a little bit. Tell anybody about anything that you might have coming up or anything that you recently posted. The floor is yours, sir.
Okay, so in a nutshell, my channel is for those people that lived the golden age of hard rock, the people that actually were there from 1970 to 1985, or you're just a fan of that period of time. Because to me, it was the greatest time, right?
Yeah.
No internet. We were all about going to shows, going to the record store and buying albums, buying magazines, the rock magazines, Circus, Cream, Hit Parader.
Yep.
And what was the topic most teenagers were talking about at school? It was what bands you saw, what new album you got. I mean, so really my channel is just a love of all of that music from about 1970 to, I say, 1985-ish, because sometimes it expands past that, because some of these bands we love so much are still putting stuff out, and I will talk about that stuff. Anyway, I think if you like that, you would enjoy my channel. We're just one big happy family over there that loves hard rock and early heavy metal. As far as what's going on, I try to put a video out every Friday. I'm trying to stick to that, but every day in the community section, I'll put post up letting you know what album is having an anniversary today, what whose birthday it is, are we marking so many years since someone passed away. Whatever it is that's in the world of hard rock and early metal, you can look at my community tab there basically to get a heartbeat of what happened in the past on that day. What else do I do, Jim? I think I put shorts up occasionally, also honoring albums that are having anniversaries. And I'm also over on Facebook with the same name, The Golden Age of Hard Rock. So if you are a Facebook person, then
a fucking gnat that's just killing me here.
You look like a damn Cheech and Chong movie over there.
Sorry, go ahead.
So that's basically, like I say, I'm on Facebook. So if you're a Facebooker, check it out. If you're not on Facebook, by all means, do not join Facebook to do that.
And you're also on Instagram as well.
I'm on Instagram. I can't freaking figure out how the Instagram thing works, but I am on Instagram. I was so bored on this last vacation, I actually started TikTok, but now I'm like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I'm on Blue Sky, which is like a better version of Twitter, because Twitter is like the wild, wild west now.
Yeah.
Blue Sky basically is like a little more polite, so, but I basically just recently got on that. So, but Ricky, this has been awesome, dude. Like I said, this has been a very, very, very long time coming. As
Thanks
I
for
mentioned at the beginning of the show, you were one of the, if not the first channel I ever subscribed to, and you're one of the reasons why I got involved in the YouTube in the first place. So tk you, sir. I really appreciate it.
I'm honored to hear you say that. If I had any motivation for you having a channel, man, that's great. Awesome. Thank you for following me all these years.
And Barry says he will head over and subscribe. Thank you, Barry. You're awesome, dude. You really are. No bloody smartphones. Actually watching the concert. Actually, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the golden age.
Yeah, I mean, because again, back in the day, people would hold up lighters. Now they hold up their fucking phones, because they're trying to, record or whatever. And it's that none of that footage ever comes out. It always looks like shit. Do people actually watch that shit after they record it?
And you're looking at the stage, but in front of you, it's nothing but cell phones with the same thing that's on the. It's like, just put them away, folks.
Yeah,
enjoy the show.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, the last concert I went to, okay, and we're talking, this was 10 years ago, okay. I did bring a phone and I did try to record some audio from it, and it sounded so horrible. I immediately deleted it, but I didn't try to make a video or anything because I knew it would look like shit.
Yeah.
But I went to a festival show that Rob Zombie was the headliner of, and there was like 3 other bands, that I wanted to see. Stone Sour was on that one, Theory of a Dead Man, a bunch of these newer bands or whatever, but not necessarily my thing, but it was still a good time. I had fun for what it is. But before we're done here, again, I'm a whore, so I got to whore out my shit here. If you haven't done so, please get over to Ricky's channel. Golden Age of Hard Rock. His title is right there. As you can tell from the last couple of hours, he's a great guy. He's got a great channel. I cannot stress enough how awesome I love this guy's channel. Like I said, I've been following him for 5 years. So please, if you're a fan of rock and roll music, get over to Ricky's channel. 2 weeks from today, on the 6th of September, same bat time, same bat channel, 1 p.m. Central Time will be episode 18 of this show, Shooting the Shit with Jim. We're going back to Europe again, and this time to Wales to get my good friend Pete from Pedro's Movie Cavern. A guy from Wales who calls himself Pedro. That's pretty funny in itself. But anyways, I met Pete through Ollie, who was in the chat earlier. He was also on a couple panels with me and Kenny. Pete is an awesome guy. He's a little bit younger than I am, but he has very similar tastes in movies. We're going back to the movie topic next time around, guys. And again, if you haven't, I'm going to leave links to all the channels. Get over to Pete's channel. Subscribe to him as well. Also, this coming Tuesday night on the 26th of August, on the next episode of Talking Movies with Sean, Kenny, and Jim, we are going to be covering our favorite science fiction films, top 10. That will be live on Sean's channel at Movie Assault or on the Talking Movies 2024 channel. And again, that will be on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I didn't even ask you, are you a fan of science fiction films?
Yeah.
Somewhat?
To some extent. My genre is the spy, thriller, assassin, government intrigue, that kind of stuff.
Okay. See, I should have asked you about your conspiracy thrillers then, because, you had that other channel that you haven't been doing much on lately, but I know you're really into thrillers. So
yeah, the Action Thriller Collector is my other channel that really, I hate to say it, but I've kind of abandoned it for about 2 months. But it's, you have one channel and it just takes so much time. I don't know what I was thinking that I would have 2 channels. But yeah, books and movies that fit that spy thriller genre, that's my sweet spot.
Yeah, when you were finding those little paperback novelizations of some of those movies, I was like, in those secondhand bookstores, I was like, holy shit, that is so cool.
Yeah. I'm an avid reader, and I didn't even know some of those existed. Those Clint Eastwood ones of like the Dirty Harry series.
Yeah.
But apparently it's basically, they just paid somebody, hey man, write this book. And the guy watched the movie and just wrote a book on it.
Yep.
But it was interesting.
Speaking of science fiction, there was a guy named Alan Dean Foster who did a lot of those friggin' novels. I mean, Alien, a couple of the Star Wars movies, books and shit. I mean, if it was a sci-fi movie tie-in book, that was your guy, man. I mean, so... Yeah. It's weird. I remember that name as a child.
People who collect those things, they are super expensive for the novelizations of things like First Blood, Red Dawn, any of those movies from the 80s that had a paperback that came out. I mean, those are some decent bucks for those books in good shape.
What's funny is if somebody was to read the actual book First Blood, not the based on the movie, but the actual book, they would find themselves very surprised how different that is from the actual movie. Because we were talking about it on Ollie's channel, actually, because there's rumors that there's a new reboot of Rambo coming out with like a prequel with a younger guy playing Rambo, which to me would be idiotic. What are you going to do? Just have a POW movie? Because that's literally his, backstory. But regardless, I said, as much as I hate remakes, I'd be more interested in somebody doing a remake of First Blood, but doing the actual book as opposed to what they did, because at least it would be different, and it wouldn't launch some friggin' franchise that's going to have another 10 shitty sequels on the end of it.
Yeah, and if you're following the First Blood, either the movie or the original book, now today, if you make that, you're really making a period piece.
Oh yeah. Big
because
time.
technology has so much changed, because basically what this is a story of a man on the run in the wild, and you would be caught so quickly today with
They'd have
helicopters
drones up
with
there looking for him.
sensors. But that wasn't the case in 1972 when that book, or 1970 when that book came out. So you'd have to. It is a period piece. You have to get all the cars and stuff to be from 1970. Otherwise, my wife would be saying, "It's not a documentary. Shut up." You know, they would have him caught in the woods in like 5 minutes as soon as the helicopter got over him. They would send drones. Drones would find him like that.
Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite movies of all time, okay, is Race with the Devil with Warren Oates and Peter Fonda, where they're being chased by like a satanic cult.
Yeah.
And I said, that's a movie that, again, I'm kind of shocked has never been remade. But I'm like, but you couldn't remake it now because, again, with cell phone technology and GPS and everything else, well, you know, it wouldn't work.
You just make it a period piece and get all the vehicles and things to match that time, space and time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ricky, this has been awesome, dude. Like I said, this is like a way too long in coming. I mentioned when I originally mentioned this show back in January, I think it was, you know, you were one of the guys that I had put on my wish list to appear. So
honored.
As a matter of fact, where is it here? Here is my original list. And there's the check marks as I'm taking them off. So we added you to the list this morning. And like everybody else, I want to thank you for being here. And I wanted to give you an open invitation to come back at a later date if it works out for you and you'd be interested.
Sure, man. Sure.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you had enjoyed it. And like I said, I had a ball and I could be talking about this shit forever. I really can. Real quickly,
it's an obsession. It's an obsession, right? These channels.
Real quickly, I just want to Barry here again, of course. Everybody is younger than you. Actually, my good friend Ricky's 3 years older, so fuck you, Barry. Fuck you.
But I'm picking Jim for my Deadpool.
That's right. Mike's got my back. But no, Barry, you know, you take care, buddy. I appreciate you. I appreciate Mike. Everybody else that stopped by in the comments today. Again, this show gets better and more entertaining every time because of you guys. I cannot thank each and every one of you enough for all of your support. And one last time, I want to thank my good friend Ricky here. If you haven't already done so, please get your ass over there, like and subscribe to his content. He's a great guy. He's got a great channel. And I can't thank you enough for being here, my friend.
Thank you, and thank everyone who watched. I hope everyone has a great weekend.
You as well. Oh, and one last time, everybody, I want to mention that I am not doing a stream next week on my birthday. Unfortunately, I have a funeral to go to. Nobody in my family, so don't have to start sending me sympathies and stuff, although I do appreciate it. But I will be back in 2 weeks right here on Jim's Movie Channel with my good friend Pete from Pedro's Movie Cavern over there in Wales. So I want to wish everybody a great weekend. We'll catch you on the next one, everybody. Take care.